welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. This is a video that I never anticipated or wanted to make, but here we are. So for a little bit of context, I guess, this was the day before the Club Loose juice box event at 360, and the previous event before that, the day was cut short because of a misfire and coil pack issues. And I seemingly fixed them, and then when I fixed them, I couldn't get them to happen again. I couldn't replicate them. So I was like, is it fixed or not? You know, I want to make sure the car's working before I bring it to the track. So I was like, I'll bring it up to James's yard and I'll see, is it fixed? And I definitely checked if it was fixed or not, because I fucking blew it up. So hope you enjoyed this video. It's going to be like in 2, maybe 3 parts, because yeah, I never thought it'd be this hard to change the turbo from a TO4E to a GT28, but you can come along for the ride and see how I do it.
That's not water.
Yeah, that's oil.
Oh, I blew it.
It started knocking underneath. I heard it.
Oh my god, I blew it. Oh, sorry, man.
Oh shit, that doesn't bother me. What about the fucking car?
At least it didn't catch on fire.
Len, roll it back though, just in case it does, because if that goes... Yeah.
Crap,
You could hear it.
I'll push him in.
You could hear when it happened. We'll be winching it up. I Len, get out of that.
Come on.
That was pretty not dramatic.
No, what the fuck's that?
Is it?
It started knocking underneath. I heard it.
Did it throw a rod, or did it fucking...
Wait, there's not a hole in the bonnet. That's a good sign. Ah, yeah, look.
I see it back there.
There's a
Yeah.
hole in the block.
I can't tell.
I don't think so.
It's all wet up here as well. It's behind the engine.
Oh no. So something terrible is after transpiring. That would be engine oil, and that would be a LEXUS on, not even axle stands, just a jack. So the engine is gone. It died, and I thought I blew it. I thought I blew a rod through the side of the block, but I didn't. Something stupid's after happening. The hose, and that's supposed to be connected to my oil filter housing for the oil cooler. This Jubilee clip is super tight, but somehow the pipe popped off, dropped all the oil, and then it seized. So yeah, it is what it is. Go check your man. The line's tight, man. So go check your oil lines. Don't let this happen to you. So yeah, there's my oil cooler filter thing. There's my line where it should be connected, and we just pissed oil everywhere. But this is tight though, so
Yeah. No.
I'm really confused how that came off. Maybe it just wasn't tight enough. Rip. Oh man. Welcome back. The car is here. The engine's over there somewhere. And today we're gonna We're gonna try to swap this today, but I don't know if it's gonna happen today, but there's no reason it shouldn't happen today. I'm waiting for the boys to turn up. I'm after forgetting the keys for it, so that's a brilliant start. We're gonna get this thing pulled out and yeah, fuck it. So while I'm waiting for them, I'm gonna take off what I can. Take off all these stupid small things, and then hopefully when we get here we can just jerk this thing out. No hooking points. Toyota were very confident in their design because there's nowhere to put a fucking engine hoist on this thing and just jack it up, but maybe I haven't looked hard enough. Maybe I took it off like a stupid man I am, but yeah, we'll figure it out. It's been like 5 minutes. These cars are super simple to work on. It ain't even a joke. So crash bar off. This charge pipe out. Then I need to disconnect these. Disconnect some fuel lines and yeah, start unplugging the ECU. So it's time to, God, it looks so depressing. Looks like a Relahans car. Jack it up, take the engine mount out, gotta drain the gearbox oil, disconnect the gear stick, and that's it. And probably a couple of wires, pull this shit out. I'm not going hard.
You know, there's a speaker over there.
Gonna drop the...
Right, come on, break down. Nice this up. Try and get to that.
So the engine's out. Oh. So this thing's kind of fucked. This is fucked. This bed's fucked. Yeah, that's fucking nuts though. Yep. So this is what happens when you're there's still oil in it though, but we ran out of oil.
Yeah.
So
Maybe the pickup got. Oh yeah.
it's full of shit, yeah.
There's some bigger chunks on it.
Not really though.
Yeah, there is.
It's really fucked. Pure shit. How do I get this off now?
That's pretty bad, man.
How do I get that
It
out?
was 40
Can we
times.
spit on it, please?
Sorry?
Spit on it.
Spit on it.
I am not.
You have to wash this out. If you're putting an automatic engine into your car that was previously manual, there is a coolant line that runs through the back of the engine. Which way this rotates. But anyways, the coolant line comes around, goes into this, then this goes back into the block here, into this nipple, or whatever you call it. Right? And then on the automatic engine, there is this sensor, this drain plug, and right here, if you can see it, that's where the nipple's supposed to go, and you're supposed to drill and tap the block, but I'm not going to do that. So this is a drain plug for the block. We're going to take that out and we're going to thread the same nipple into that. So that's previously where this return was, and this was where the drain for the block is, and they're the same thread. That's it. So this is the TO4E, the big massive fucker, and you can kind of see the difference. I'll show that. And you see that neck here, look at the neck here, there's like no neck. And it's a much smaller turbo overall, but the main thing I'm worried about is the wastegate. Now if you see this wastegate, I never had any issues with boost creep or over boosting or anything. And that's because this flap, I can fit literally my whole finger in there and I can move it around. This one, much smaller. And these two flaps are about the same size. I obviously haven't measured it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill this out. And yeah, that's it. I'm just going to drill it out to as big as I can, to be honest. So I don't have any boost issues. This is kind of sketchy. I should really weld this up and get an external wastegate, but I really like how the internal gate sounds. I know you can recirculate it, but we are on a budget here, and this is going to cost me a drill bit versus €500 setup. So yeah. So we're just clocking the turbo and trying to figure a few things out before we kind of finalize it. I have to take off the hot side anyways completely to drill out the wastegate, but we're just doing some research and development. So that's my first ever weld with a gasless, well, a gas MIG welder. It's a bit gloppy, but man, I need to go a bit faster, I think. That's why there's too much heat in it. I'm talking on my asshole, but I think there's too much heat in it because I was going too slow. Yeah. That's why it's a big fat glob. So I'm gonna clean that up a small bit. It's fairly clean. Clean up a little bit more. We're gonna weld that on. We're gonna do some other things. It's gonna be sick. So I'm making studs. We're gonna put this in here like that. Turn it upside down. I'm gonna weld in here, and then that's gonna be my stud onto this. And then I'm gonna go through that and bolt it down. And I'm gonna weld this to the manifold over there somewhere. Oh, that's sick, man. Oh, it's in the wrong way.
Is it? Which way?
That is the tight spot. Or that's a tight spot.
Yeah.
No, that is a tight spot. So that bolt is a little shy because it's a pretty tight spot. But other than that, it should be fucking mint. So now I need to grind down the other side of this and then weld this flange onto that flange. Yeah, we'll just fucking send her. So there's my manifold and flange with my DIY studs. Not the prettiest welds. My first time using a proper welder, and I'm quite proud of it. They are pretty for me, I guess. And there we go. Use a gasket and fucking tighten her down and hope for the best. This whole thing does look a bit disgusting, but it works, so fuck you. So that's that ported. That's that ported. It's like double the size. Put this all back together, and gotta still get the engine back in. Still need to get a fucking pilot bearing, but yeah.
Tops, you see where it's probably not use the wooden part. I don't know.
Do you have something you could hit off with rather than hit it itself, you know?
I don't know, I don't have a reference so far.
I think you just go all the way to this, because there's a notch on the inside.
Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight.
The whole gang. Say that, yeah.
Is it seating on the...
Spinning too.
I can't tell.
How far does rear main seal go in, man? That's mint. Naughty. So we were playing around with this last night and we figured out this thing's like 20 psi when the wastegate opens. so that's not good. I have this one from Mambatech, and this one's adjustable. You can change the pressure by changing the spring inside. And currently there's a 7 psi spring in it, but the rod that was on it was way too long, so I got to figure out the correct one to use. I should be able to make it work. I think the engine would have been back in the car already if, first of all, the engine was automatic and it wasn't bare. I had to swap absolutely everything from that engine to this engine. And if I wasn't doing a turbo conversion, I think the car would be running and driving at the moment, because I really underestimated how much of a project this is. Had to be welded on. The oil feed and oil return are different. I was just a bit ignorant. I thought they'd be the same, but they're not. They're completely different. And the turbo can only be clocked facing this way, where it's touching off the block, or this way where it's touching off the chassis. I'm not sure, it might not, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off, and we're going to bring the flange flat this way, so then I can have my compressor housing outlet facing down. But yeah, it's kind of a big stupid project. I deleted my water lines here. There's probably the only modification I made to the engine. There was a whole thing here for this. I just simplified it, so that's a bit cleaner. I would like to make a different loom for the top of the rocker cover, but you know, it's not really a necessity. But I guess I tidied up something. So that's the shortest rod that came with it. It's exactly the same, and I need to probably use this one, so I get the preload right. But yeah, that's sick. I no longer have 20 psi wastegate. I have a 7. So we're getting our ass fucking beat in right now by this turbo. So if I have this thing clocked so that this thing is facing straight down to match up with my previous intercooler piping, it don't work, because the internal gate, I can't get it to line up with the flapper. So my only solution to run that way is an external gate here. I don't want to do that right now, so I'm kind of just thinking what I can do. I've rotated the turbo many ways. If I have it this way, it's kind of pointing towards the chassis and there's no space. If I have it pointing down here, there is a bit of space, but everything's very tight with this oil return, and everything here is just tight in general. Bro's welding. Bro's doing something he shouldn't be doing. So I got that tacked up. I cut the thing and I twisted it up, and I gotta fill a lot of fucking shit in, but that's how it's gonna sit. Got max feeding rods on the top. The outlet is gonna be facing down. Hell yeah. And there's a pile of space down here for just whatever you want to do. Loads of activities. turbo kind of soft mounted. That's just, Jesus Christ. That's just one bolt. There's like 2 bolts on this. I got this on. It's kind of fucking close, but yeah, I'm gonna get my downpipe and see how fucked am I. It looks like I'm chooched. So we got a little bit of downtime because I'm waiting on some oil lines. So in the meantime, I'm gonna take the head off the old engine. I think the head is actually fine, and I want to see like what even happened. Like, I'm assuming that just the oil line just popped off because I had the wrong fittings on it. These ones, see the teeth in the barb, I guess it's called. They're not aggressive enough, so the pipe just blew off. Because when we had the engine out, Maddie just grabbed the pipe and he just pulled it off with his hand. So I'm assuming that was the issue all along. I just want to check, is the head gasket deleted? I think it is, I'm not sure. So I bought this. I'll put the thread depth up on the screen because I don't know. And because I couldn't figure out what's the oil feed fucking thread. This does screw in, to be fair. It does screw in and it will get tight, but it's not the right thread. So some dude on Instagram, I messaged him and he told me it's 125, M12 by 125, and he told me that the fuel rail thing, this is M12 by 125, and I took it out and yep, that goes in way handier, and I can bottom it out without getting tight. So this, and then my return, it is about an inch, maybe 2 or 3 inches too short, so I gotta get another one of these and make it longer. The whole reason of all this being fucked up is I moved the manifold from down here to up here, so I need to extend that. And I also need to extend my downpipe, probably the same amount, maybe 2 or 3 inches, 4 inches. I have this pipe, and somehow this pipe is actually like better condition pipe. I should remake this whole thing, to be honest. You can see I had to bash this in to make it fit for the steering rack. It has these crappy flange, which is a crap. And another thing I really hate is the V-band that it came with, and even this thing. They don't have the teeth, so they don't. It'll work, like, obviously, but it won't lock in. See, this one has the teeth, or the tooth, or the ledge, whatever you want to call it. See, that's stuck in there without anything, so it'll line up and be easier to install. So I might make the whole thing again, or maybe I'll order this that has the yoke in it. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Part 2 will be out maybe next week or the week after. Still waiting on some oil lines. My oil return is rubbing off of my actuator for the wastegate flap, so maybe I'm gonna have to get a new manifold and get an external wastegate, or just get a whole new turbo, like a TO2, a TD04 or a TD05. I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, please just drop a comment saying bananas, man. That would be like you know, I really appreciate it if you made it this far in the video. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stick around and let's see how it goes. And if, yeah, I got a good few plans coming along.